Son of a bitch. Let's get hype one time, man. Welcome back. Welcome back. This is Nice Live. I'm Ricky Reed. I'm a record producer, artist, guy. This is a show, this is a session, this is a hang where I try to broadcast inspiration. I scream into the void. I cry occasionally. It's true. No rules, all heart. That's the only rule. The rule is no rules. What a fucking paradox, huh? Huh? Another week, another just series of life challenges. How's everybody doing? I don't even have my gear on behind me. Look at this. It just looks like I'm giving up. I'm not giving up. And neither are you. We're going to work this all out. Just want the pretty lights on behind me. Welcome. Hi. How you doing? Hi. How's everybody doing? I'm doing okay. A lot of conflicting messages right now. Cases are on the decline. Cases are up. You can touch things now. Like as of an hour ago, they're like, you can fucking touch stuff. It's not a big deal. You could get it from touching stuff, but you probably won't get it from touching stuff. Oh, sick. You don't have to wear a face mask. You got to wear a face. Remember that at the very beginning when they were like, you don't have to wear a face. What do you think this is? China? And then 2 weeks later, it's like, you better, everybody needs to fucking wear a face mask. Or like, guys, I know it takes a while to get this all figured out, but like, can we just like not drop like empirical, truths? Maybe this is to like websites or newspapers or news anchors or pundits or influencers. Like, just don't say some shit like it's the be all end all. If it's not, it's okay. Just don't say it in the first place. I'm not out here telling you what you can and can't do, right? I'm talking about music because that's what I know. I'll tell you that you can or can't have a bridge that's 64 bars long because that's my job. So if it ain't your job, or there's no hard scientific fucking evidence and research to back it up, just stay in your lane, bro. It's easy. Write about food you like or relationship advice or something. But man, sorry I had to get that out. Wow, I didn't know that was even in there. But it was. It always is. How's everybody doing? Let me check in with the folks. Yeah, I know I had to come in hot. Check in with the folks. See how everybody's doing tonight. I'm on this is a self-care night for me. I'm not drinking wine. I have tap water in here because I support tap water, okay? Over bottled water. So I'm drinking tap water, getting hydrated, municipally hydrated. I'm probably, I think I was cooking around like a 5.6 today. I think I could be solidly up to about a 6.2. I got this. I got a whole show at a 6.2. I know I can do that. How are you guys feeling? Let's see. We got some OGs here. Czar is a 7.77. Sarah is a 6.3. I'm doing okay. Yeah, we're in the same place. Claire, 8.4. Bumping the new Terrace Martin, eating chocolate. The new Terrace record is straight up magic, she says. She is correct. Terrace is great. Speaking of him, I think I'm going to jump on. My phone is going to die soon, so why not? I'm going to jump on Instagram Live and just get that fired up too, because I feel weird and I want to. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to give them the same angle that you guys are getting. And just go on there for a second. Make them wish they were getting the high def sound that you guys get showing up every week, doing the real thing. So, let me just fix that. There we go. So, who else we got? Connors is a 7.1. M. Rimal, we got a Rimal in the house, is a 10. Look out. Andy Switch, 7.0, but it's the start of a long weekend. Is it a long weekend? I thought we were already in the middle of a fucking long weekend. You know what I'm saying? You're not quite relaxed. You're not quite at work. You're just in this long fucking limbo of a weekend. Boy Bennett is coming in at 9. Derek Moore, 9.3. Not Handsome Cody says 20. Bro, I don't even know what to do with that, but I salute you. So, hi, 4-Star Riot, new face. Any new faces, please show yourself. Please subscribe. Do whatever you do. Hi, people on Instagram. I'm doing my YouTube broadcast currently. The difference is if you go to youtube.com/nicedotlife, nice.life, you get high def sound. You get to hear my theme song that everyone on YouTube can hear in high def right now. I can hear it in my headphones. You want to know what it sounds like? You don't know what it sounds like. So you guys get the perks over here on YouTube. What else do we got? We got a Matt Vaughn is a 5 and some change. Nolan Marshall is rocking at a 10. Saw my grandma today. That's nice. There you go. We love that. She's a dope grandma, says Nolan Marshall. We love that. Bedroom Pop, hello. Hi. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. We got some heads on the YouTube tonight. This is great. Again, subscribe because we do weird stuff on this show. Typically, I'll review random demos from random folks. I produce records live. I get all this stuff fired up. You guys know the story. I bust out the drum machine, all the kooky gear behind me. It's a great time. Great time. And yeah. Oh, Cowboy Lansky. What's up, bro? Cowboy's in the house. Cowboys in the house. We got some people coming through on the gram. That's nice. It's nice. Like to see that. We have a super cool show tonight. We're going to get into that in a little bit. We have the goat himself is here, the young goat. Goatus. Goat of the U.S. Before we get into that, I'm going to do questions tonight because I haven't done questions in a while. We'll do the mailbag, the real-time mailbag. That's kind of funny. I'm going to do 3 questions, 2 from YouTube, and I'm going to do 1 for the folks on Instagram because I'm feeling generous. So if you got a question, drop it. I want to see it. I want to hear it. I want to know. And we're going to get into our main event shortly. So what do we got? I'm going to have a sip of my municipal LADWP truth serum. Let's see. Wow. First question comes from the YouTube side. It's Andy Switch. Says, you gonna drop a sampler of all these tunes from the show? Tune in Monday, bro. All these tunes from the show, tune in Monday, bro. going to be, I'm going to address some things on Monday. Monday's my actual announcement, I think. Or is it going to be the following? We'll see. I'll tell you something. I'll tell you something cool on Monday. But yes, music is coming. Let's see. Here we go. Questions. A lot of good questions. So let's see. First of all, for my Instagram folks, come join us on YouTube. It's popping over there. youtube.com/nice.dot.life. youtube.com/nice.life. You'll be, hey, what's up, Justin Burgos? You'll be able to hear everything in high def. It's vibey. People in the chat, we got a good vibe going. Come on through. I'll see you over there. Peace out. Yeah. You guys are my friends. Y'all are my friends. Okay. So I'll do a couple questions only for the YouTube people because you guys are very nice. Let's see. Bedroom Pop asks, what does a good record make you feel? I think a good record for me makes me feel a sense of possibilities. Like, I've often thought of this thing in my head, which is really a weird thought, but if there was a new primary color, what would it look like? If you had to try to imagine a new color. Obviously, it's it is impossible. And my head, for some reason, always just goes to is it kind of teal-ish? But when I hear some amazing new song, it sort of does a really small version of that in my head. I see a little tiny universe comes into focus that I didn't have any awareness of before. And then it just sets my brain on fire, and I think of, maybe there's nostalgia, maybe there's hope, maybe it reminds me of something. But it really is that newness, that little world is that's kind of a heady way to describe it, but that's when I really try to intellectualize what that gut feeling is. I think it's that for me. Let's see. Bing, 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 bing. Here's an interesting one. Default Tone. Hey, Ricky, on Monday, you and Teddy made references to vowel-only vocal tracks. Can you please expand on... expand on how we can use vowel tracks to make our melodies better? That's interesting. I was just going to say the reason I gave Teddy the note to do that is because Teddy had just freestyled some melodies and they were sort of gibberish placeholder lyrics in place. But it was sort of an option, do we want to make these real lyrics or do we want to just make it a vowel? So I was it was such a busy melody, I thought it would sound better with just a vowel. How you can use it to make your melodies better? I mean, what I will say is not so much the vowel thing, but just doing freestyle passes over instrumentals is really valuable. Crank up the autotune if you have to and just let your mind wander, and that's how great, really felt melodies can arrive as opposed to sort of thinking a melody out, Nolan Marshall, what are the pros and cons for a young musician to move to LA? Bro, it's almost entirely pros. I hate to say it. I'm from the Bay. We were born and raised to loathe LA. Trust me. And I came down here and my world just opened up. If you're really, really motivated and you work really hard, you have a great work ethic, LA can sort of has enough to feed your appetite, we'll say, enough opportunity. but you got to work hard and you got to make friends and you got to be out there, but it's really good. Downside, it's expensive, it's hot, it's a little smoggy. I don't love the west side. There's a lot of great people over there and great pockets, but living in the west side or in central LA is not really my cup of tea. I like the east side. And oh, hi from Argentina. Cool. Wow. Oh, hey. John Roberts in the chat. Interesting. Last question, Charlie Harding. Do you load up your own samples into the rhythm? That's my drum machine back here. This guy. Do you load your own samples in? Or look, it's just playing. What do you know? Just randomly. You quit it. I just stopped you. Okay. We don't want to see that. We don't want to see an error message right now. I load in a lot of my own sounds. I mean, the Electron sounds that come in it are super sick. Seriously, like their sounds are amazing. I was just using their sounds for a long time. But then when I started loading my own sounds into it, it truly felt like an extension of me musically. So I mean, you know how I feel about that thing. I can't praise it enough. I'm crazy about it. So I think it's about that time. I think it's about that time to bring out the GOTUS with the what? Gonna try to do a GOTUS with the mostest, but instantly regretted that. A guy who I met a couple years ago and have had the pleasure of sort of watching him not just grow as a musician, but sort of grow up. It's a real formative time. And there's just sometimes I'm going to talk about him like he's not here for a second because I wouldn't say these things to his face and, puff his ego up. But just there's sometimes you come across a once in a generation talent. And when you have my job, not only do you need to act quickly, but also you need to try as much as you can to be attentive and to be whatever the artist needs, whether it's an A&R or producer or friend or occasional, mentor of any kind or whatever. And I'm really honored to have been able to be around for this dude. And he's dropping his debut EP on Nice Life and Warner Records tonight. I'm going to bring him out. Hopefully he's unmuted. John Robert, you want to drop in? Hey.
Yeah, 100%. Hey, what's happening, Ricky?
How you doing, dude?
I'm doing all right. I'm just relaxing in LA. Everything's happening with the EP. How you doing?
I'm all right, dude. I'm I'm doing the damn stream. Feeling okay. Did you catch my rant at the beginning about fucking misleading news reports?
100%. Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane.
Oh my god, dude, that's totally. Also, I'm like screaming about people staying in their lane, like I'm talking about the fucking news on my. Anyways,
No,
how you doing?
Yeah,
You probably had a pretty busy day. Tell me about like what's a day like today look like as far as all the promo and shit you're doing.
Oh man, I had my planner out earlier, but let me see. I woke up, transported all my gear to this house, just because the Wi-Fi is better for the live streams. Picked up OBS today, learned how to do that.
Oh,
Um, Made the live streams a lot easier and the listening party a lot more fun. What else did I went skating for a break. I remember that. And then what else I did? Oh,
you
just
skate?
daily. I had to pick it up just because Junior Mesa and my other roommate Jay started to skate, and you can't just live in LA and not at least try.
Right.
Um, so yeah, I started picking that up. Me and my girlfriend get pretty competitive of it about it, but
Nice.
yeah, no, but also mainly it's just the social media posting, and then also it's just learning it's a bit political, just as far as like when someone says something nice about you, make sure you put them on, and it's also just respect,
Right.
So I can.
Right. 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 Well, that's. I mean, it's crazy how like we've obviously you and I have talked about this a couple of times, but like when we were early on working with Lizzo, it was kind of a similar thing where like she like just wasn't as um, motivated to like be on her socials and in the comments and everything. And once it started to click, I think it was probably I can't say this 100%. I don't know what she was thinking, but like I think there is a point where you start to be like, oh shit, this is like these are people actually reaching out and being like, hey, I really enjoyed your song, and you're like, damn, if I just don't respond to that person, that's weird, you know?
Well, it's more so getting that gratification that was really uncomfortable for me, just because like I spent a lot of time alone, but like in the basement, and
Right.
so that kind of stuff I kind of like. Also, there was a quote by Hendrix that said compliments are crippling, and I really take that to heart. It's one of my
Mm-hmm.
favorites.
Right.
So I just scared that sometimes I might be like heavily petted, and then I'm just gonna be like, oh, I'm a good boy. I'm a good fucking boy. You know what I mean?
I'm a good boy.
So, yeah. That, but then also it was more so the more I'm myself, the more I'm like friends with the fans, and the more like we have our own inside jokes, and it's more of a community, and it makes it a lot more fun.
Right.
They start to understand like if they DM me pictures of Swedish Fish, like I'm gonna put them on.
Bro,
That's like my shit.
we got to get
But
that Swedish Fish
um,
sponsorship, dude. We will. I promise. I promise. You got to keep the faith. So,
Again, a bit longer.
I thought what might be cool for the context of this show is like, um, we talk a lot of like people have questions often about uh, the music business and all this and that, and like people are sending in demos and just the sort of like elephant in the room is I think a lot of people are curious to know about what it's like to like how you get on the radar of a record label, what it's like to get signed, what does that feel like? What does it mean? How long does it take? All this shit. And I thought something that would be cool because like you are a prime example of somebody who's like right in the middle of this would be sort of cool to talk just for a second about you know how you kind of got to where you are now. What I wanted to start with was the first time that we flew you out to Los Angeles. You
Hmm.
remember the first time that you played guitar for me? I forget who else was there. Maybe your dad or your mom. But like,
Yeah,
tell
yeah.
me what that was like. Tell the people what how you felt and what that whole
Well,
experience was.
it was more so like I met you that one time prior. We worked on that song titled "Nah," and
Wait, say
that
that
was
one more
at the
time.
point where I
You
didn't
broke
write,
up for a second.
and so you could like repeat like a little phrase and then just have like a catchy synth line and call it a chorus. And like, oh, I was more so talking about it took me a while to get to a space where I could write complete songs and choruses. So
Right.
for the longest time, I just wrote like tropical house like synth line choruses with like a little phrase, kind of like Kygo or what else would do it like Marshmallow sometimes. But
Right.
yeah, but that first backyard session was more so I had had a lot of opportunities I had dropped like before then, before that moment. So I just really was like, I need to have these songs like keyed in and just locked down. So the performance just needs to be flawless.
Right.
Um,
Right. And there's something you say that I think is really huge, and I want people in the chat and whatnot to pay attention to this is like you so we had met, and then when you came back and performed, you weren't just like, oh, I gotta nail the performance. You thought about your songs and tightening your songs up and make sure that like the actual The songs themselves were like on the level, as opposed to just like, oh, I gotta drink a lot of honey tea and sing really well, of course, which is part of it. But it really was the songs that first time where I was like, these songs are insane. That backyard performance was crazy.
Yeah, it took a long time to like sift through the shit to figure out how to write better songs. I've written a lot of awful songs. Also, I look back at previous demos because you reached out to me when I was like I was supposed to go to Berkeley and then that fell through.
Mm,
I took a whole bunch of stuff happened, and then it was just now looking back, it's crazy to me that you reached out and were like, hey, you got any demos? And then I shot you over. Mind you, at the time I had songs like about like Ferris Bueller and James Bond because I wasn't a very social kid. I was a social kid, but I just didn't. I was just awful at talking to girls and flirting and other people in general. So I would just write songs about like things I saw on TV and stuff like that.
right.
They're not good songs, Ricky.
Songs about James Bond, bro.
Dude, I swear to God, it was like waking up in a suit I wore the night before. Da-na-na-na, 24 karat gold. I can't.
That's so good though. Holy shit. Um, so
Yeah, it
so
took a
we,
minute.
I mean, like, not to get too much in the weeds of it, but essentially we start working together, right? We, um, one of the first songs that we did was Adeline, of course, and we released that independently, which was super exciting. Um, and meanwhile, we began to work on your EP, so you have we slimmed down the songs that we love. Myself and Nate, largely, shout out to Nate, uh,
Out to
start
me.
start to make this whole EP with like nobody's eyes on us, right? It's really just us kind of almost in secret making this thing, um, which was super fun for me because I hadn't really dedicated so much time to just a fully unsigned artist, in my whole career, and so to like get your instincts and your approaches, and even to have, I really respected how in some of those early sessions, you know, like the power dynamic between us, you would be like, I really don't like that thing you're doing right now. And I was like, tight. I
Well,
respect
I feel
that.
like that's the same reason you picked up Junior too, because he's very opinionated with initially what he likes and what he doesn't.
Right.
Um, but yeah, no, I remember like our first session together. You're like, hey, do you stopped me for a second. You're like, hey, do you like have you been tested for ADD? I swear to God.
That was the first
Like,
session. By the way, I ask about half of the artists that I work with because about three-quarters of them at least do have ADD. Like first, second session. Has anyone ever told
I,
you? Yeah, because you're fucking
I don't know if it's that or short attention span, but the thing with music is, especially like when you're composing and being held responsible for each section and each instrument,
right,
you just never get. You can always bounce around. So
right,
if you're tired of on the drums, you can bounce over to the bass line and or like synth line, or then you got to craft the lyrics, and sometimes the melody's not right. Like there's plenty of places to go.
right,
Um,
right.
so yeah, that's
Completely.
why I thought it's like
Yeah.
the whole side.
So, so we're working on everything, um, and we, of course, in this process, one of the things we're going to do today is actually deconstruct uh, one of our songs, which I'm super excited to do. We're going to get into that in a minute, but so we go through this process of making it, and in the midst of this, the record deal, becomes you signing to Nice Life and to Warner Records, um, which is, of course, super exciting. It's like, sort of I feel like most musicians' dream is like, the major label deal or whatever. But it also can be tricky. We had some momentum and the way it can work to get all this paperwork and all these things done. You really had to go and be sort of put on hold for a while. Um, I imagine that was pretty tough. Yeah.
Well, it gave me enough time to get acclimated to LA. But yeah, during that time, it was just kind of like I did have like a sense of entitlement that I had to work through for like a bit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um, like why aren't things moving or whatever. But through that, I was able to develop my artistry a little bit more. And whenever things like that happened, it was more so a blessing rather than like, ah, this sucks.
Right.
Just because it gave me more time to focus on writing better tunes. And I don't know. It's just for me, like the tunes always came first, and
Mm-hmm.
production, even like production, kind of came second to me. It's just more so that the song needs to have legs before I can
Oh
really
yeah.
like dive into.
I totally
I mean,
agree.
yeah. I
Like
mean, don't get me wrong. Like,
whenever I'm talking to artists about, um, you know, if a song's there or not, or like, oh my god, even worse, like fucking sessions with like pop songwriters and stuff, and you'd be working on the song, and I'd say, yeah, I still don't think the lyric is there, and they say, well,
no,
like we'll put a
the thing,
harmony on it, and there'll be the bass is gonna go, poof, and it's like,
no, you
no, the
need
lyric is still
stop trying to sell
bad.
me on it. Like, you just need to fix the lyric, and that's the thing too. Is like not kidding yourself. If you feel it in your gut and you're like, oh well, maybe if I sing it this way instead. No, you just
You
need
already
to
lost.
change the lyric. Yeah, that, and then also sometimes working with pop songwriters, it's always like, oh, my head or my heart. I'm like, dude, just like anything else. That's it's my biggest pet peeve.
Just heart, just the word heart, basically.
No, it's head or heart, or you're on my brain. It's just like, dude, literally
Oh god.
anything. I
Yeah.
challenge you not to use the word love, heart, or brain.
Yes. 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 Um. So now, oh, we already got reviews of the EP coming in. Sarah, your EP is sick, John Robert. Let's check in with the
Oh,
chat for a second. M. Rymel says EP is out. Woohoo! Yeah, it's 9:03, bro.
thanks, mom.
I mean midnight 03 your time.
Oh, it is midnight. Yeah, it's 03. It's out.
Yeah.
Woo!
Congrats.
Right, right,
Congrats.
right.
The people are loving it. We got a great one here. Jeremy Jackson says, "I can't stand non-perfect lyrics." I really love that.
No, hold on. First off, there's a bit to unpack there because I've been debating with my girlfriend like the importance of just ignorant trap music. It's like there needs to be a space for that. You can't just have like insightful, reflecting. Also, I make fun of her. She listens to a lot of like folk songs,
Mm-hmm.
and there's always like one song on the album that talks about like their age, or they reference when they were 5 and they had like a bittersweet memory.
Oh,
They're just like,
jeez.
oh, I tripped and I skinned my knees, but I got back up, and that's what my father always taught me, and it's instilled in me even to this day. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
dude. Skin my.
Well, I bit a peach and it was like rotten, but the other side was like sweet. So it's half and half.
Dude, you need to do the definitive cheesy lyrics folk album, fucking Weird Al shit, bro. You can
I
do this all day. This is great.
I feel
A bit the
it.
rotten peach.
Other side was sweet. What's the takeaway?
Oh my god. So good.
But
So now now you're at the fucking uh beginning of the whole process. So, like I said, a lot of people on here and just out in the world, like, questions always about like getting signed, doing a deal, and
mm,
you know, see, so the deal is signed with the big label, and then you start to realize like, oh shit, I within the big record label, right? You
mm,
have your team, which one of my heroes and mentors, Julie Greenwald, actually had a different label, Atlantic Records, but she also was one of the mentors of Aaron Bayshuk, who's at the head of Warner, your label. So
yeah.
she's loved by us all. But she'd always refer to that as a SWAT team, who's your product manager, publicist, who's doing marketing, all these different people. Um, Tell us what it was like when you first kind of like went into the actual building and realized you were going to have to get to know like a dozen or whatever more
No,
people.
when we were first talking about the deal, it was speed dating, and they were going through all different departments, and it wasn't until yeah, I'm still trying to understand how everything works. So uh, I can talk to you, I can talk your ear off about lyrics and production and things like that. I'm telling you, it's just more so the business side. It's very overwhelming, and it was
Yeah.
very scary. Even when I signed, like I'm like, this is really cool, and like I'm gonna be supported by all these people, but it was also intensely scary. And it wasn't until Pelican I really realized just the creative freedom I had and the creative freedom you guys gave me. So like 21 Pilots, when they came out with their second record, and they featured the cover art were the two grandfathers in just
Mm,
whatever they wear, and
right.
the whole color scheme was like black, white. They're just like, I remember an interview was like, hey, why'd you do that? They're just like, we wanted to see if the label would even let us. And that's how I felt about Pelican, like getting eaten by a giant bird head. That was more so like how much leeway do I have with all this,
Right.
with all these creative.
How do
Um,
you
so
how do
yeah,
you
that gave
break?
me a
How
lot
do
of
I burn
security.
this bridge? Is
I mean,
my first question about
how
this
do I
bridge I need to
It's
cross.
not burn the bridge. It's testing the sturdiness of the bridge.
Right,
It's
right.
like I'm just kind of like stomping on it, just like is this gonna hold me?
Yep.
Um.
Also, shout out to Spencer, the
Oh my
director of
god.
that video, the Yours video, just consummate gentleman, super talent. We need him to come through the chat at some point. It would be nice to see his avatar or something.
Yeah, and he also took a picture for the cover art. So and a couple other like press stuff. So he's definitely like the guy.
Yeah, he's it's really great. I mean, you know he obviously had done a few things before working with you, most notably for working with Brockhampton, of course. But it's really worth saying that I tell this to like I try to say this pretty much every night we have this show for new artists developing whatever. Like if there are super talented people around you, work with them as opposed to waiting for the big name, whether it's producers or photographers or video directors or anything. Just like go to your talented homie, somebody who's like actually like the homie and is you can like fucking pregame with him at his house with his friends the night before a video shoot. Like
Well,
that's cool.
yeah. Well, that was the thing. Like right before yours is I was brand new to LA. Didn't really have set footing. Uh, Also, side note, I'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, they invited me over to their house. We played fishbowl. We cut up a watermelon, and they
Mm,
showed me a bunch of cool art. They're very artsy kids, so they know very eclectic, really cool
right.
music videos. And but yeah, they definitely became. They're more than just like work friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No.
And
They're.
also, like Nice Life in general. You guys do a really good job at like hosting events. I'm sure Larry is a big pusher for those events too.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
I'm trying
which
to
is good.
find the
Yeah.
perfect Larry episode that Larry is gonna fucking take this thing to the moon. People in the chat, you've gotten to see a little bit of the company. You've got to hang with Jazz. You saw Brad the last time John Robert was here. Um, but you got to meet the whole squad, and when you guys meet Larry, you're gonna all shit. You're gonna
Larry just brings a whole new energy to a room, and he
oh
makes
dude.
everybody. See, he's the type of person that leaves the room better than what he found it. You know what I mean?
You heard it here first, Larry. You got to put that on a T-shirt. I'm the kind of guy who leaves a room better than I found it.
I'm just saying, like the first time I met him, he showed up with these sparkly shoes. I don't know. He's tight.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan.
he's the man. He's the man. There you go. I see him in the chat. Wrench Gang. Um, so also,
Come.
just as a side note, people please start gathering up your questions because we're gonna pelt John Robert with some questions here in a minute. So the EP is out now, of course, and the way this used to work back in the day, a couple things was first of all that they would like really front load this so that when once the music dropped, the only thing really to do after was to kind of go on tour. Obviously, no one's touring now, but also you are probably aware, if you have even any awareness of the calendar we have laid out for you, that there's a lot coming. Something I try to brace you for when you are in all that downtime was like, look, bro, once this thing starts, working. You're working every day. Is it gotten to the point yet where it's like overwhelming or beating you up, or you feel like you're still in a good zone with it?
I'm still in a good. It's just more so like I got really good like support systems. Got a good family,
Yeah,
good friends at my back. I guess it's more so I just hate. I'm just not a fan of like staring at my phone all the time.
yeah.
Um, I mean, I love staring at like the logic window because it always. I don't know. It's just yeah, it's just different. Also, like figuring out the tone, like how to talk to strangers. I remember one time I made it. It's
Well,
just it just gets really dicey and it feels much more uncertain and even like sometimes dangerous. Just interacting with strangers sometimes, but all in all, well, also you got to understand like a part of that comes from like growing up young in the YouTube community,
mm,
because you get like a lot of really not emails from strangers. You know what I mean?
right, right. Yeah, I mean, dude, it
All in
is
all,
really,
yeah.
it's really, I hate to say it, but it's kind of an art. Well, it's not an art in that you're like, it's not an artifice or like something fake that you're doing. Um, but it's an art to sort of immediately be able to click into being authentic and personable with a stranger. Like that just takes experience, like just doing it over and over and over, right?
Well, it's one thing when it's in person because you have much more to go off of. It's just more so I'm just not a big fan of texting because it's very hard to read tone in texting, and also
Mm,
that happens with texting. So
right.
I'm very flat and to the point when it comes to texting, just because it's texting. Like it's not meant to. If you want to have a conversation, we'll talk on the phone. I annoy friends all the time because I'm the guy that like calls them, asks them how they're doing. Especially when we're like setting up plans, I'm just like, hey, 2 minutes, we'll wrap this up. We'll know what we're doing for the rest of the week. You know what I mean?
Right, right, right,
Um,
right. No,
but yeah, just no tone.
no, I
Yeah.
dig that. So before we go to our deconstruction, we're gonna do something else first, something fun. I'm not sure if this is gonna work. You know how we do it on this show, John Robert. You've been on it. You've seen it in action. You know that our technical difficulties. You know that we got them, but we're doing good so far. But we're about to bring a wild card in and see if this works. Let's see. I'm gonna I'm just gonna try something here, something a little high tech, a little fancy. We're gonna we're gonna bring someone else into the mix. Hello, Junior.
What's happening?
Junior. There we go.
What's
Can
up?
you see us? Can you hear us?
See and hear you guys.
John Robert, can you see and hear Junior?
Can John Rob?
I can't see him, but I can definitely. Oh wait, here it is. Hey, what's happening, Junior? Are you coming
Yeah.
out with
What's
the
up,
music
John
video
Robert?
soon? Also, great live today.
Heard you're coming out with an EP tonight.
Yeah, it just dropped what like 15 minutes ago. I remember like nah, cause like Nice Life shot you guys, you and Javen the EP before it came out. But I mean like we lived in the same household. Like we're always sharing music.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
let
I
me
listened. I listened to it once.
let me
I
educate
listened
the
to it
people
once
and let them
yesterday
know
and,
real
and
quick
once
that
today.
you guys are actually, so John Robert is currently in Virginia, but John Robert and Junior are usually roommates in the same crazy house. Can you guys give us a bit of an example of like and I want you guys to like sort of describe the house. Junior, you were there more recently. So we'll start with you. What's sort of the vibe of the house that you guys live in together?
Well, I don't really know, to be honest, because I usually lock myself in my room and I seclude myself. But from what I can hear from the yelling downstairs, there's a lot of drinking and partying. but amongst them
Uh-huh.
at 3 in the morning.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. John Robert, are you part of the 3 a.m. screaming partying crew, or are you also locked in a room
Um,
somewhere?
it's definitely like a balance. Like the biggest thing I learned from Junior Mesa was he'll just he knows when his time is up and he knows when to call it quits. He's just like, all right, I'm going to bed, and he just calls it a night. And I was like, oh wow, that's I don't know. I don't know. I just wish I had more of that. But yeah, definitely. I'm up with our roommate Jay till like 5 in the morning,
Oh
and
my
then
god.
he talks to me about existentialism, and then I just kind of half
Yeah.
listen, half asleep, half awake. But yeah,
Right.
the household it's it's mainly we have the common area, and then everybody can get together. We all have our boundaries and our own safe space at the same time, so it's been the perfect mix of both.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Um, John Robert, do you know
Yeah.
when you're coming
Well, wait, hey,
back?
didn't
Have
you
you
used to
thought
run
about
with
that yet?
yeah.
What?
No.
Yeah, sorry. What were you saying?
I was asking when you're.
What'd
Do
you
you
guys
know
say?
when you're coming back to? Like, have you made plans
Oh,
for
I
your
had no
epic
idea.
return to California yet?
I was just kind of I was kind of anticipating after like June 10th. So like I'll just spend my birthday with my mother, and then probably just hop on a plane back. Also, we got to finish up stuff for like new stuff and secret
Yeah,
undercover stuff.
got a lot of new
Also
stuff
want to be able
coming.
to privilege to work with like
We're talking about you guys. When's the world gonna get to hear some music that you guys are both on together? A collab. Can we expect a collab sometime in the future?
Yes.
Back up, Junior.
I
Back
mean,
up, bro.
yeah.
Oh man. Oh man. I gotta come over to your guys' crazy house when this is over and do one of those 5 a.m. nights with you guys. Okay, Junior, with just for that angle, we're gonna let you go and get back to whatever you're doing.
All right.
Um,
Good
we
luck,
have we have
John
some.
Robert.
Oh wait,
I'm so
real quick,
excited.
Junior, how's the music video?
What'd you say?
How's the music video for Losing My Grip? What do you say?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I caught you live a little bit right before I had to do the listening party.
Yeah, yeah, it was good. We finished it and it's all ready. We finished the editing and everything.
Woo!
Okay, dope. Yeah, and also I saw an address, which is our roommate. And then we all tagged him for as our mom for Mother's Day. I don't know. I just miss them all.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Miss you too, John Robert.
Oh
Yeah, I'll
man,
be there after my birthday, no doubt.
Well,
miss you guys both.
love love you guys. Yeah, love and miss you guys. Yeah, peace so much. It's one of my favorites I've listened to in a while. So
Thank you. Bye.
yeah, excited to see what happens with it.
Oh, that's
Okay.
awesome,
All right,
dude.
later, guys.
Thanks for the
All right.
love. See you soon, Junior. Oh man, isn't he the best?
Well, dude, you gotta understand the thing with Junior Mesa was I think I said this in another thing, but I remember the first time I saw him play live, I was just so distraught and scared for like my job security. I went home. I practiced Adeline like 12 times in the mirror. I was like, oh shit.
Oh my god, you guys are gonna be
Um,
legendary buddies one day. Fucking legendary pals. Um,
yeah,
so that was awesome. Let's deconstruct one of the songs. I think that'd be cool. So
yeah,
my
into it.
Pro Tools view is not coming up right now, but that's okay. I have the mix stems to Pelican. So I'm gonna like just maybe we'll listen up to like the first chorus for the people.
Okay,
Um,
tight. Just so you know, from my end, I have the unmixed version of Pelican, so like my demo version.
mm.
So we can definitely compare and contrast because this is what I'm looking at the moment. It's
Oh,
just
there we
like
go. There we
also
go.
some really really shitty drums. Wait,
I didn't even remember you having drums on it. I thought it was just
that's why I muted them.
Okay, so we'll listen to the mix stems top to bottom one time because we got to celebrate a little bit. The EP's out. This is awesome. So we're going to listen to Pelican one time, and then we'll do a quick breakdown of how I helped you produce it and how you helped me produce it. So this is John Robert,
Sounds like
Pelican.
fun.
The EP is out. Here it is. Enjoy, people. I'm gonna jump in the chat.
Once before, when I was 17, I kissed on her so sweet and solemnly. We'd go back to her house and make out on her couch. And with autumn leaves, we're left lonely, so lonely. With my head of a pelican, I wanna let you in, gobble you up, just gobble you up, so sweet to the touch. Call on my love and I'll bottle you up, bottle you up, you up. You left some books in my house that I'll never read, and I got me a sweater that I haven't seen. And if ever you find it, I hope you'll think of me. Yeah, and I found me a lover who's just as cute. It's not hard to say when she looks like you, and I wish not to care, but part of me hopes you're well. You are so sweet to the touch. Call on my love and I'll bottle you up, bottle you up, you
So smooth. People in the chat, what are you thinking? This is great for summer music. Says Nate Vozen. So smooth. What a vibe. Says Andy Switch.
Probably.
All right. Awesome. Congrats, John Robert. So show them your Logic session, and I can probably play, so it's high quality. I can basically play what you started with. I'll get those soloed, but play so we can hear what you, like, kind of where it began. Oh, that's great. I love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
Promo.
Just
Yeah, this is where we were at. You'll be able to hear it.
crank it.
Like super jam. This is as loud as it's gonna go. Bass notes I remember being extremely weird.
Mm-hmm. Did you record the vocal at my studio or by yourself? I don't remember on this one.
I re-recorded the vocals at your studio.
Right. It sounds like
Yeah.
my mic. So it's hard to hear coming out of there, but I think, I mean, you can hear the, I know it's your OG guitar.
Yeah.
With that ringy fret noise.
Yeah.
Which I tried to EQ out as much as possible, but little man
Yeah,
didn't.
I remember. Yeah, we tried to re-record that rhythm guitar part at your studio, and then it just didn't have like. I don't know. I remember Nate Mercer in an interview talking about like the magic of first takes.
Yeah.
And just like the dirt authenticity that comes with just trying to like figure it out and not you're just not in your head about it.
Right.
Yeah. And then we tried to re-record it at Cheers Studio, and it's a lot like lightning in a bottle, you know.
Yeah. So you had this crazy, weird MIDI bass, these two different MIDI bass parts, which we just kept because the notes were so strange and good. Just classic Logic.
Yeah,
I think in the chorus I added this sub. Or no, that's your sub, but I think I just boosted the low end on it.
Yeah, that's something that.
And you also had this. That's you. I mean, this was like one of the coolest productions you had made up until this point. Also, you had these sounds in there too. I mean, you started this thing with great tones. Great
thank you.
tones. I mean, that's a little funny when you solo it, but in the mix, it sounds great.
That was-
Kind of a little
we can
Phaser
make-
Rhodes vibe. So when I first heard this, I was like, damn. It almost had to me like the mood of it was almost like with the guitar voicing is almost like a Brazilian like samba guitar voicing. And there was no drums. I was just smitten when I first heard it. So we're going to listen to it. This is not the demo vocal. This is the final vocal we're going to hear. But this is basically kind of similar to the vibe of when you first sent it.
Oh, I fell hard once before when I
think your
was
bass notes too, it reminds me of just like a couple
I
great
kissed
Brazilian
on
records
her
that I know.
so sweet and solemnly. We oh, I fell hard once, sweet and ouch. And with let you and gobble you up,
In between raspy sort of play
gobble you up.
Here, wait, so
until the end
Yeah,
of the
no.
hook. Is that right?
I would just scream a lot of the 21 Pilots. You know what I mean?
How do I be angsty but not let mom and dad know that I have feelings?
Since the hearts that make the beat or whatever, and my father's feeling like, yo, like that's all.
And paying attention to where you're hitting the snare and how hard you're hitting it. So what you hear here, what we did is we just brought the drums. We brought
It was a mixture of some ideas for the drum bit, and I was like, oh, yeah, like give a second, and then I heard,
yeah.
Is this the right song?
The
Yeah.
Oberheim DMX.
And then I gave. Yeah. Oh, that's right. And then I think I was texting like Ethan one day like some references as far as like what my idea for what the drums should sound like, and I just didn't know. My biggest problem is trying to figure out how to produce drums, and that's why I'm extremely grateful.
It's hard, man. It's really it truly is though really hard. Also, we're getting some word that there's a little bit of a difficulty with the Wi-Fi connection. People, let me know if it's getting better. I think it's not on you, John Robert. I think it's on my end. So I'm gonna disconnect a couple of things. See if that helps. We'll see. We'll find out. Anyways, hopefully that helped. People, let me know if that's any better. So, all right. So, okay, great.
Thanks, Robbie.
Sorry about that, everybody. So, talking drums. So, the way we did it was we broke up the hi-hat and snare, did those first. Like I said, played it really gently in kind of like the dead room. And I think we ran them through one of my spring reverbs. I don't remember which one, but let's listen to the hi-hat snare track.
Oh, I fell hard once.
And then we did a kick pattern, which I remember, yeah, it was definitely the Oberheim DMX. Is one of the kick sounds. I forget what the other one is, but let's hear those by themselves. They sound weird, super weird. It's kind of there's the big one, and there's the little oopa, ba, oopa, right? But together, it's pretty interesting.
Drums can work on a flock of seagulls track.
And I think there may have been a little bit of Oberheim DMX snare layered into the
Yeah.
the
Do you
dead
hear that?
kit,
Do you
too.
hear like the melody that's coming out? Am I crazy?
What?
It just feels like there's a melody coming from that drum beat. Am I crazy?
That's your magic ears. I can't hear it, dude. So, okay, so let's, now that we have all that, I'm going to let's hear these things one by one. We're gonna like kind of do another listen down, but I'm gonna like just sort of mute and unmute things so people can know how to resolve it.
Make out on her couch, and with autumn leaves, we're left lonely, so lonely. With my head of a pelican, I wanna let you in, gobble you up, just gobble you up. So sweet to the touch, call on my love and I'll bottle you up, bottle you up, you up. Some books in my house that
What about these?
you up, you up.
There we go.
You left some books in my house that I'll.
So this was exciting for me when we did this one, dude, because your production game.
Everything kind of sits where it should later. But
That's
more so, yeah,
awesome.
getting the
Yeah.
and so I don't want focusing too much.
I think that's a really, really, really good way to put it. I'm lagging problems because I'm getting you fine. You're hearing me pretty fine. I think maybe with that we can.
I think this is the last one. I just have a phone call with some people afterwards, and then since I have like the space and I'm lucky enough to be on your show, I'm sure the people know you had like I cite I always cite Hesher.
Both of those songs pissed, if I'm being honest. Political stuff going on, and I was not enjoying the campus police there. I was like finishing up my album for Epic, and it was a kind of a mess. I think I'm the kind of person who makes some of my best music when I'm not happy. For that we've been making on the live stream, going through this shit has been some of the most connected I've felt to my music. It's crazy how that works.
Yeah, I'm getting a text from Ben Klein. It says, "Can't see or hear anything. Jr. has been like this, but
we can
hey,
we
but
can
still,
sign off from now and to talk to you always. And congrats.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. When you picked me up, I thought like, all no, just ratty, but yeah, man. Thanks.
My pleasure, and I'll probably talk to you